Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's our wrestling podcast, Getting Over. Join myself, Paul Williams and Stuart Woodmansey, and special guest live by satellite, Matthew Moore. We're discussing what happened in last pay-per-view and what's going to be happening in the next pay-per-view. So here we go, this is Cookiecast, Getting Over.
Jesus Christ, that was a mouthful.
That's what she said. I mean, that's just a freebie, isn't it? Again, that's what she said.
Are you still doing your thumbnails?
It depends what the podcast is. So, it's often the case that the thumbnail is picked, unless I did one the other day, and I'd used a picture of a llama at one point.
Oh, of course you did.
In the podcast. So I was like, cool, that's necessary for that bit of the podcast. Obviously, YouTube was like, thumbnail.
I love a bit of llama.
I'm like, oh, balls. I had to go back and like add a proper thumbnail to that one.
So, here we are once again.
In the back cave.
Hello. I'm
the,
here.
In the impact zone, if you will.
Still never thought that name through properly, did they?
Well, they also probably thought something like that. Don't worry about it, no one's ever going to be fucking watching.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, so here we are again.
In the back cave.
Mr. Cookie's here.
The host with the most.
Mr. Williams is here.
Howdy.
Live by satellite.
If you smell... Oh no, sorry.
Mr. Moore is here.
Evening.
Oh.
Took a while.
As you've probably guessed by now that I'm here too. Thank you very much, yeah.
Technical issues are getting in there again.
Oh, you're dropping out again?
Hopefully it is there. I think, if my calculations are correct this time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome along to Cookiecast Presents Getting Over 9.
I mean, I can have a look.
The look of confirmation and reassurance on your face there.
Honestly,
picture.
It took me 10 minutes to find out which NFL podcast.
So
Yeah, but it's alright because those were recorded on completely separate nights, so it's fine.
we normally
You are correct. It is number 9.
we normally get straight into the results from the last pay-per-view, and then we'll get straight into the predictions because there's usually so many matches to go through.
Yeah.
This week, however,
Not the case.
not so much. But it would probably be remiss of me not to begin with
As the reigning, defending, undisputed
This-
world heavyweight...
this is a satisfying noise.
It's
It's just like
world
the real ones
heavyweight
with Velcro
predictions
now.
champion.
Can we address something?
The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room, or as he's known.
I've been
That's a
called-
callback.
I've been called worse. It's fine.
That's a callback to the last one. We were trying to work out when the next wrestling event, pay-per-view, stroke podcast would be. Presuming that we had loads of time to, you know, mentally prepare ourselves, cleanse our bodies of all impurities.
Watch the 53 hours of TV per week.
Exactly. And get well into it. Right up until it was, it's going to be the back end of October. No.
I could not have been more wrong.
Oddly, WWE officials were probably thinking that too, on the basis that they've started to promote Crown Jewel and just completely forgotten about the rest of the card for Hell in a Cell.
Is it 3 weeks?
Was it something like the 11th that we were last?
Something like that. I can't quite remember, to be honest with you.
Clash of Champions was on the 15th of September. So yeah, it's roughly about 3 weeks. It's a bit of a quicker turnaround this time, but like I say, they've got 2 to sneak in October, so they'll get Hell in a Cell over and done with, and then move on to the beautiful kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
The magical city of, is it Riyadh?
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The Prince Abdul Jabbar or something like that stadium.
Pretty
sure he was a basketball player. But
we will get to Crown Jewel later on, because to be fair, we're probably not going to do another one in a couple of weeks when that's due. We didn't cover the Saudi event separately last time.
Only the major
pay-per-view
incident.
Yes,
in Saudi Arabia did we cover,
and as up to this point, there has only been one match announced for that as well so far, and not all of the combatants have been.
What was it called? The Big Money Match.
Do you know what? Let's start with that then. So Raw this week, it gets announced.
The season premiere of Raw.
Few things look different. They have changed the set. They've freshened it up somewhat. It's this. You'd look at it thinking, yeah, cool. They've made a minor adjustment. However, one massive return in wrestling this week wasn't even a wrestler. They've brought back Pyro. Thank you very much, Fox, for your $4 million or $1 billion.
There we go. I was going to say $4 million.
Let's literally set it all on
Vince
fire.
wipes his ass with $4 million.
Although I did quite enjoy Becky Lynch on commentary this week because she's got her smoke back.
Can we skip the Fox bit and just go straight to what it should be, and Disney? Because let's not forget who owns Fox.
Well, it's the fingers and pies thing all over again. But that's another story for another time.
Another Tory for another time. There's a Freudian slip.
Shout out to Spike Trivia. There you go. There's one for the Brit Rest fans. It's very niche, wasn't it?
Straight over my head.
So the first match has been announced, and it's Saudi Arabia. Wouldn't be a Saudi show without an appearance from somebody who should stay retired. And again, they've got 2 people that should stay retired.
Do you have a guess at which one of them is?
The Undertaker?
No.
Not yet, although he will be there. They've not announced anything for him yet, but apparently he will be there.
If you had to give me your favourite phrase...
Brother.
From wrestling.
Oh dear. As long as it's not Hulk Hogan, then...
Confirmed. Team captain.
Hulk Hogan.
Everyone's favourite former racist. Allegedly.
Can you be a former racist?
Yeah.
I was racist once, but then I saw the error of my ways and...
Yeah.
But it's alright though, because...
Stop going to football
On
matches.
the other side of that particular coin is the other team captain...
Mr. Richard Fleer.
Woo!
The man has an audible noise that goes along with his name.
Yeah, so they can't wheel out Hogan versus Flair one more time. So that they've been allocated teams.
Alright.
And we've got the first 2 members, probably an appropriate word for Ric Flair being involved in this match. But yeah, the first 2 members for each team have been announced. The Team Flair is going to be Mr. Randall Keith Orton.
Really?
And believe Boring Corbin.
Give him his full name.
We'll get to that. I could call him much worse. Facing off against other side, Seth Rollins, and in a very peculiar move, Rusev.
Newly minted citizen of the United States, Rusev.
Indeed, that man, indeed. But no, he came back. He came back 4 or 5 weeks back. He was a definite bad guy because there was a rumour that he might be the father of Maria Kanellis' baby.
And he turned up with a fantastic moustache. Gardner Minshew style.
I was just going to say.
It's almost like I've heard this. No.
Can I just show some Gardner Minshew?
For those of you not familiar, go back and check our laces out. So it turns up as a bad guy. Potential storyline for him cheating on his wife. Comes back, saves the day for Seth Rollins. Face turn. Then, within half an hour or so, challenges Rollins to a championship match.
Was this because Rey Mysterio was supposed to have the match, but
Correct.
got taken out by
Bork.
Laser?
Bark laser. Rocky
Yeah,
Rock.
that is correct. And then, at the end of the night, during that said match, his wife then comes out and starts kissing Bobby Lashley.
Who I don't think's been seen for fucking weeks either.
No.
So
I think they've had to... He's coming back after the operation from them surgically removing Leo Rush. But yeah, so it was a bit of a...
Sorry if you can see that smoke in here from all those shots that were just fine.
It has been a bit of an action-packed episode of season premiere of Raw because, yeah, as Paul mentioned, there was Brock coming out and absolutely not only destroying Rey Mysterio, but his son Dominic.
Does anyone... Can anyone smell that? Is that an angle I smell building there?
Well, laying the groundwork, I guess, but how much longer are they going to leave it before Dominic's actually in the ring, like, properly?
It's been going on a little while now.
Well, let's put it this way. He's obviously had enough training and is obviously at a level where they're happy with him in the fact that they've been happy to put him in the ring. As in, they've allowed him to be thrown around in the ring and take bumps. So he's obviously going to... Is it too much of a stretch to put it out there that in the championship match that Brock Lesnar will be having on Friday in the debut episode of SmackDown, he will be not winning the match due to interference from Mr. Dominic Mysterio?
To me, it would make more sense for it to be Rey Mysterio because the absolute paggering that Dominic took, if they're going to sell it, they need to have that kind of... I think he needs to be out for a week or two to kind of hammer that point. So as Paul's already mentioned, his own personal favourite, Baron Corbin, we've also had the culmination of the King of the Ring tournament since we were last on.
Give him his full title.
Yes, unfortunately for everybody.
Not for everybody.
Okay, sorry.
Matt loved it.
Everybody.
I think Matt called it.
Matt did call it, actually. Is he there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
It's the thought of what actually happened has depressed Matt to the point. No, yeah, Baron Corbin.
It's just you sat here thinking about it, and you're just like, fuck. you just ruined it. Just in a box and just ruined it.
The potential.
You ruined it, damn it!
Out with it for
The potential they had for those
weeks, and you're just like, I'm sick of this now.
Potential they had for those brackets, especially like when we were firing a few messages at the time, backwards and forwards, like, oh, let's do a bracket, and it went the first round almost as we'd expected, and then it just went to absolute shit from there. But
I was so excited for it. I was just like, this is great. I love the King of the Ring. Like all the kind of Kurt Angle winning it and all that type of stuff. And you just thought, yeah, this is great. I love it. And then let's put over some really good wrestlers. Some wrestlers that perhaps struggle on the mic. No, let's try and shove Baron Corbin down your throat. No, just get him fucked off already. Just no, we don't like him. We don't want him. I know you think it's antagonistic and it's funny, but it's not. It just needs to go away.
But just feel privileged, Matt. Vince McMahon's basically trying to get everyone to feel and know what his dick tastes like. He's shoving it so far down everyone's throat.
Taste his Baron boner.
Whilst I'm not necessarily one for religion and karma and all the rest of it, the world does have a funny way of working out when the first episode with the new set, all the power, everything, they bring out the throne for the king. And as he stood up from the throne, it fell to bits. It actually just... And they had to cut to commercial with Randy Orton trying not to actually laugh on camera because of what had just happened, which was great. And as they came back from the adverts and Rusev had made his entrance for the match that we talked about earlier, the camera's bang on Rusev as he's saying to Corbin, "What happened to your throne?" Just falling to pieces. I did enjoy that.
No expense spent.
So
no expense spent. Nice.
We've got
£4 billion. We've got $4 billion here, lads. Should we get a decent throne?
Yeah.
It's only Corbin. No one likes him anyway.
It was like they'd spent all the money they could possibly spend in IKEA and then just used half of the pieces they were supposed to. But yeah, it's a big week coming up. Obviously, there's a pay-per-view, so we're here at the end of the week. But in between times, it's the weekly television debut of AEW.
It is.
It's been a bit of a strange week for UK fans following AEW because we've had months of almost boasting from the sort of the head of the company, Cody Rhodes, saying how much better the UK TV deal was going to be for AEW. This was on the back of BT getting the rights to WWE from January, and everybody was elated that it was going to be on ITV, free to view in the UK, no extra expense, nothing. And then this week came along and it was revealed that initially it was going to be on ITV4 at 8:20 on a Sunday morning. It wasn't going to be aired live. If you wanted to watch it live, you were going to have to pay $5 a month for a subscription.
Shocking.
Which enraged a few people.
As it would.
I'm a bit on the fence about this one because those same people who are angry about that are probably paying £10 a month for the network. So they should be used to paying a subscription to watch wrestling.
They're probably paying £10 a month for the network, which is a proven format.
Yeah.
They're then being slapped with another charge for something that they have no idea what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
And was promised for free.
Yeah. So it's almost like they went in two-footed at the beginning, thinking, look how great our deal's going to be, but they seemed they hadn't quite ironed out some of the finer details.
Yeah.
You know, as with the way of the world these days, quick get on my keyboard, have a quick complaint about it, and that has now changed. Breaking news from earlier, the TV deal has changed. So it's then rather than waiting until a Sunday morning, then ITV are now going to bang it on the on-demand service, the ITV Hub, from Thursday night at 7 p.m. So rather than having to wait till 4 days or whatever it was to the weekend, you're now going to get it the day after. There's now going to be it's now going to be on late night on a Friday, as well as the originally scheduled 8:20 on a Sunday morning. Presume that'll be the watered down version for obvious reasons.
Yeah, any blood. Well, yeah, you'd imagine any blood, any like chair shots, anything like that will be taken out, or will be. I can't think of the word.
Toned down.
Yeah.
But then they've also got a solid opening to the first show because they've got, as you'd expect, championship matches to kick it all off. They've got the crowning of the first women's champion, the newly minted world champion, Mr. Chris Jericho, brings along his little bit of the bubbly to the main event in what the partners are to be revealed, but it's a six.
I was going to say, is this the
match.
one where it's the tag partners of his choosing?
Yes, versus.
They've been
Go on,
been
Matt.
announced, haven't they?
I haven't seen anything definitely confirmed. I've seen rumours that it could potentially be LAX.
Yeah, I'd seen that.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah, I've not seen anything confirmed, but then it's going to be against Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, so should be a pretty solid main event.
They should do what they threatened to do on a podcast once, and they should get Edge and Christian to go back together, so they could do the Young Bucks versus the Old Fucks.
I think somebody's checkbook would be twitching if Edge and Christian turned up on AEW, and it definitely wouldn't be Vince McMahon.
Well, there's loads of rumours, isn't there, that Edge is because he's been cleared, that he's itching to get back in the ring. Apparently.
Well, it'd be an interesting one. I'm a bit unsure about where to go with it.
And he's not the only one who's apparently itching to come back.
Go on, Paul.
The CM Punk rumours won't go away.
So, a week ago, I heard, CM Punk is coming back. It's almost definite that he's going to come back. If Vince asks, he'll be there.
Oh yeah, because they're like busy mates.
Because they're best mates, aren't they? I presume anybody who was like working with or for CM Punk has gone, yeah, let's put that one to bed, shall we? Because then it's just followed a series of videos of CM Punk going, I'm never going back. I am done. Categorically will not happen. It was a bad relationship. I'm better off out of it. And so on and so forth. I saw some weird interview where he was on a stage in a suit.
Starcast, probably.
More likely.
Talking to a guy, and there was an audience.
Starcast.
And he was saying, you know, it was a bad relationship. I'm better off out of it. It afforded me the opportunity to do some great things, but I'm not going back. Yes.
That was all well and good, but then obviously Vince McMahon just got given $4 billion fucking dollars. So.
Well, I think when you categorically say I'm not going back, when
never say never.
When people are screaming
in the wrestling
that
business.
he was the best, that they missed him and they love him and all this, that and the other, to say it's not happening, you know, look for me in other things, you know, like MMA or something.
For about 34 seconds or so.
He's talking about films, he's talking about TV, he's talking about things like that, and he's basically saying if you're a fan and you enjoy my work, it doesn't have to just be wrestling. Look for me elsewhere. Don't look for me in the wrestling. If he then turns up at the wrestling, it's a bit of a...
No, but that's like the shock factor of it. That'll create so much buzz if he turns up. I'd like to know what the odds are of him turning up on Friday Night SmackDown on the Fox premiere.
So obviously there's not rumours, it's confirmed that a certain
electrifying
superstar
electrifying man
might be involved.
Almost. Some might say the most.
Will be involved.
Most electrifying.
If you listen carefully, I think you can just hear Stu
dying inside
slightly.
There we go.
I don't believe that's true. I imagine that Stu is elated.
I thought you were
fanboying it up. It's like
give him the full introduction of the eyebrow raising and all the rest of it. But no.
Most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Yeah, so he's turning up on Friday. It's been confirmed that he's going to be on, but yeah.
But you were saying not sure whether this is
whether it's live and in person, or whether it's via the medium of
who knows
the way that certain Mr. Moore is joining us in the studio.
Once we get a little bit more money behind the podcast, obviously Matt will join us
as a hologram.
I'm just a bit.
I am sure.
Is he not like on the set of Fast and Furious 53 or?
Well, he's squashed his beef, hasn't he?
Not so fast. Definitely not furious.
Not all that furious. He squashed his beef with Vin, so it's all back on.
Well, Cena's been announced, hasn't he, as well, for some sort of movie.
They're basically for a movie. I thought you were talking about for SmackDown.
No, there's been a whole host of people announced for SmackDown. I did notice topping that list purely in alphabetical order was Alicia Fox.
Oh dear
Random.
God!
I know, bit of a strange one that, but yeah, there's lots of rumours about the debut on Fox going back to a more traditional set.
I've gone back and looked at what he's actually said on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, there is no, like in the post, there is no actual I will be there. Finally, I come back home to my @WWE Universe. This Friday night, I'll return for our debut of SmackDown live on Fox TV. I've been quite the lucky son of a bitch to have such a transcendent career above and well beyond my wildest of dreams. I've been blessed with many honours over the years, but none greater than that of being the People's Champ. # the People's Champ. There's no place like home. Tequila's on me. Live this Friday night. It doesn't actually say live in person.
No.
Again.
Bit disappointing for everybody,
Exactly.
apart from me. But
I think he will be there. It's going to be a big splash. It's going to be,
And like,
get everybody who watches his films or, can remember when he was in the WWE, get them kind of turning the TVs off for that.
Yeah.
He's going to be there.
and like you were just saying,
It's in Los Angeles.
That was the point I was going to say. It's in LA, and you'd imagine he's there filming. He's filming something as we speak.
and Vince
anyway.
has got $4 billion to throw around. I imagine he'll
Yeah, because The Rock's really strapped for cash at this particular time.
Yeah, he's got $7.
$7 still in his back pocket.
Yeah.
So
The same $7.
So there's a few matches have been, or in fact, more matches, or at least as many matches, have been announced for Friday Night SmackDown as the
As Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. One thing that I did want to touch on SmackDown, purely for your benefit, Mr. Cook, is we might finally, to quote the man, have an end to the Kevin Owens Shane McMahon saga.
So this was one of the things that I was going to bring up because I watched. It was quite an interesting because Kevin Owens has served Shane McMahon with a lawsuit that's got a multitude of stipulations. But he laid it all out. He went in the ring, he was in the crowd, he had a ticket and all that, and he went down, laid it all out. And to be fair...
Wait, that's awesome then. The next time I've got a ticket to a show, I'll just go and get in the ring as well then, shall I?
Yeah.
How was that allowed?
Enjoy being
He was called down
that's fair.
by Shane O. But he laid it, to be fair, he laid it all out fairly simply. And he's got a part. I mean, obviously, it's just part of the story. He was fined $100,000 and then fired. so he's going down the HR route with the wrongful dismissal lawsuit, which on paper he's probably got a reasonable run at.
But it's just weird, isn't it? Because obviously he's playing the part of the good guy in this. Yet surely suing the company he's just been fired from, bit of a heel move?
Not when he's been wronged by the company.
I suppose.
Or the owner of the company. I'm hopeful that this means that Shane will be leaving TV for a while because the stipulation part of the lawsuit
and was something that was addressed in that interaction. He was like, "We're tired of seeing you on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go. Nobody wants you here. Nobody wants to see you week after week after week, pouncing around and doing whatever." I thought another interesting take on something to be able to address what everybody's thinking. The stipulation. One of the stipulations is that he gets to fire him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, some of the things that have been banded around is that with all the money that Fox has spent, they want a more sports feel to it, and by getting rid of the authority figure from it, that opens it up for it to be more purely contest based. Which cool, that's fine. The Shane McMahon authority figure thing has been around ever since the exact split second that they said we're not going to be on TV anymore. So hopefully now is that time. My only worry for the whole thing, being an Owens fan, is this has allowed the rejuvenation of his character. Yes, it is Stone Cold 2.0 in many respects, but where if this comes to a head and he wins and he stays, then what?
Yeah.
So I'm a bit intrigued by that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I have a slight concern about from SmackDown is that it was announced by mass beatdown on last week's SmackDown. Mr. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title will be headlining the first show on Fox.
So technically you got it correct, just the method of how he got the match was different. Because you always said that he would cash in on the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah.
Obviously it is the man who had the briefcase, but
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. He's just not. That's just not the way he's got the match. So
But then again, as well, that pisses all over that concept because it didn't need a briefcase to rock up and just get the title match exactly when he won. So Brock
up.
Oh dear. Came for the wrestling today for the comedy.
Try the veil on me or all.
So yeah, I'm a bit worried about that, but what can anybody see Brock leaving with a title?
I'd be very surprised. Although, saying that, depends how involved Fox are getting. If they've basically said, we want him as the champion, they shouldn't really be allowed to say that because it's not their company. But if they're saying, well, we have given you $4 billion.
Honestly, I think it's happening.
You reckon he's going to win the championship?
Yeah.
I don't think he will, personally.
I think.
Go on, Matt.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to give him put the championship on him, and he's going to carry it for the first month or so to get the ratings up, and they can put him on on the football and with the adverts like that, and everyone Brock Lesnar. Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
So I think it's a marketing kind of thing. They're not. The WWE aren't owned by Fox, but $4 billion say they are kind of owned by Fox.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to want them to, you've got to kind of play. I can't remember how long the contract is for, but you want them to re-up at something similar to $4 billion next time as well. So
they're not.
You're going to kind of be a bit yes and no and all that kind of thing.
They don't want to.
And you probably want them to buy the XFL as well.
Well, they don't want to play it badly and then essentially get not shortchanged because that's an awful lot of money, but less money next time around. They're absolutely not aiming for that. On a bit of a longer term as well, on the back burner a little further, we've got Survivor Series coming up November time, and that's when they like to pit Raw versus SmackDown, champions versus champions.
Yep.
I can't help but think that there is no interest in a Rollins versus Kofi Kingston match.
No.
I can't help but think there is no interest in seeing Rollins versus Brock again.
Oh my God.
But Bray Wyatt as the Fiend versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, I think people will want to watch.
Oh yeah.
So I think we've just skipped ahead somewhat, but
skip to the end.
yeah, I think we know where we're going with that one later on.
Just blown your stack.
The other things that have happened in wrestling since we were last on, we've had the probably second biggest Progress show of the year behind Super Strong Stars 16 weekend.
Matt, on you boys, this.
I'm pretty sure Matt wants to discuss certain aspects of this, so off you go, Mr. Moore.
Yeah.
So exasperated.
It's starting to get troubling now because I wanted to give Progress the benefit of the doubt, and it's no secret that all three of the guys that own and run the company all have jobs within WWE, like NXT UK, and it's just kind of spoiler alerts for anybody. Yeah, come on. The main event of the show. A lot of titles changed hands anyway, but the main event of the show was David Starr versus Volta after cashing in the Super Strong Style 16, title opportunity, kind of whatever they want to call it. And you're like, right, fine, yeah, this kind of really kind of absolutely awesome promo of it kind of being the 13th time that he's faced Volta, it's going to be the time. And then you kind of like, so you're kind of watching it and reading through and stuff like that, and then it's like, Eddie Dennis has turned up. And they think, did anybody... So, Eddie Dennis cashes in his contract for Progress World title shot. And I think most people are like, oh shit, yeah, he won that a year ago. Does anybody remember that? Kind of thing. We thought they'd all gone to the WWE.
I think...
And then, long story short, Eddie Dennis wins it. Which... kind of have conflicted feelings about it. I like Eddie Dennis. I like the promos that he's cut, but of course he brought along Mark Andrews with him, which I'm like, why? why is he there? You know, Eddie Dennis, you go and win it yourself, not bring him along playing his junior songs with him. So,
but that ultimately was. Everybody would be looking forward to Eddie Dennis coming back from injury, and to his credit, I think that's why everybody had forgotten, because he'd been out with that pec injury for such a long time. He'd had the surgery. There was no mention of him being anywhere near progress, let alone the title match. And then all of a sudden, here he comes. But everybody would cheer the guy returning from injury. Well, stick Mark Andrews in a metal chair with him, and that's going to have quite the opposite effect, which is what they were playing for, I think. But it'd be interesting to see going forward. You would assume that Eddie Dennis is going to carry on with the heel kind of role, but whether he's going to end up being like the cool heel, I'm not sure. But Mark Andrews definitely spoils that vibe for me. But
yeah, it's the I can see where they're going. I presume Volta is that, that's probably him done in progress. That he's going to go, and obviously he's the WWE UK champion with Imperium, and all that looks impressive, and it looks it's taking the old ring count kind of thing and bringing it as something different. So then it's where where's Eddie Dennis, and where's Eddie Dennis going to be in some of his bookings? He's going to be at every Progress show for the next 4 shows, which is good. But it's just Mark Andrews. It's he could have been, the heel Eddie Dennis is great. The year that he had before, as you have to say when they have Welsh champions. The year that he had before that, with the whole kind of thing with Mark Andrews and the kind of building the rivalry up to Wembley, was absolutely fantastic, and he was petulant in the good way that heels are, and he was kind of snidey and underhand like heels are, and it just all seems a little bit kind of. Yeah, I think when it was meant to be the culmination of something else, and then it turns into, and maybe that's the storyline they're going to go along with. Oh, look, WWE screwing over the independent wrestler again, and and that's what David Starr will go with. But like I said, the unfortunate thing, I think we said it last time, the unfortunate thing is that the whole thing that David Starr's trying to do in the kind of real serious world, in the real world kind of thing, in terms of unionising wrestlers and making sure they're well looked after, is also kind of turning into a gimmick that are allowed to be used for other wrestlers to get themselves over.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems to be a little bit, counterproductive of making something important that he's doing look quite small.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They are essentially like downtrodden on it, but by doing promoting it the way that they are, and essentially for. Like, they even had like a little rally outside Ali Pali, didn't they, as well, like unionise, and the way that they plastered that on the Facebook, it felt like more of a part of his gimmick than an actual serious point that he was making. But just going back to sort of things that we've mentioned previously about Progress as well, we'd said it was going to be a time for rebuilding within Progress. Well, we've certainly had that now, because not only did you get the new world champion, the new tag team champions were crowned, weirdly in exactly the same format that the world champion changed as well. There's a natural progression series, which is a single elimination tournament. Whoever wins the tournament gets the title shot of their choosing. Well, the winner of the natural progression series brought along his tag team partner and interjected into the middle of an existing tag match. So the same thing happened in the opening match as did in the final match of the same show, which was a bit of a strange call for me. But we've also had the brand new Proteus Championship decided in a battle royal. This is the championship where the champion gets to choose the stipulations of the match that it's to be defended in. It was won by none other than everybody's favourite Sword of Essex, Mr. Paul Robinson, not the goalkeeper, before anybody says anything. And I think the rules are
half his size.
Yeah, he's probably closer to the size of the actual football than he is to the size of the goalkeeper. It's tiny man. But it's the announcement was made through TalkSport as well, which I think was a good bit of promotion. For the stipulation, but it's. I think everybody expected it to be a straight, like hardcore rules kind of thing with Paul Robinson, but there was a bit of a twist to it from what I remember of the announcement.
It was a weird one. It was kind of one of them ones where you had to watch it a couple of times, wasn't it? Kind of, so you've got to get him to tap out, or you've got to knock him out.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, that's a very strange stipulation. It's nice and vague, isn't it? Because is he going to be knocked out for 10 seconds, or 30 seconds, or just, once he's piled into the back of the ambulance, that's when you get your title off him.
Well, it'd be an interesting one to see how that plays out, but they've I think it's a good idea with that belt still, and as we've said before, it opens up the door for a bit of creativity, certainly, depending on who takes it off him. Was there anything else from Progress or NXT UK or anything that anyone wants to bring in?
Nothing for me.
Matt? Is he still there?
I think I don't know. I think it's like the opportunity to build up more wrestlers. I think Cara Noir is an interesting wrestler. It's kind of very eccentric and interesting thing. The fact that Pete Dunne kind of half put him over. It was a good old WWE card. I'm going to put you over a little bit, but I'm going to win.
Yeah. Put him.
I'm the champion.
Put him over by making him lose to a submission.
Yeah. So you got him. So I don't know. It's kind of like still in that funny halfway house. Obviously, like I said, the guy Scotty Davies, who won the Natural Progression Series, cashed it in with his tag team partner Jordan Devlin of the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, okay then. It's a shame that he just didn't pick another Natural Progression guy to come in with him and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think they'd already kind of blown that one, because I think the guy that would have made some sense, as in Danny Duggan, they've then adopted him into Do Not Resuscitate as part of the sort of the Natural Progression show, didn't they? So they've got a new member as well now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave that for now. But yeah, we have got another Progress show on the horizon as well in Sheffield in a couple of months' time. So I think there's only one other show between now and then. We've got the Manchester one, I think, in between. So there won't be too much more, but that'll develop up, hopefully, to when we actually get to go and see it live. I guess the only other thing I've got on the list is this weekend's pay-per-view. We've not got to that point yet. Hell in a Cell returns this coming Sunday. And as we've mentioned, very strangely, only 3 confirmed matches less than a week before the pay-per-view.
I mean, that is bizarre.
They're putting all their focus into the SmackDown debut-ish edition, aren't they? And
yep, absolutely.
You can't really blame them for that, because obviously it's a big thing. Obviously, with the fact that AEW's launching the same week as well, so there'll be the card will be rounded out nicely. It won't be an issue, but
I'm sure that a good portion of SmackDown, despite all the nostalgia acts and the rest of it, will be dedicated to let's just smash 3 or 4 more matches onto the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if they almost like pulled like an NXT takeover and just had it as 5 matches.
Yeah.
Because it gives time to the wrestlers that are working. It gives them time to develop the stories. And I think that would almost be better. The 3 matches that they've got, they have built to. So they definitely, those 3 matches deserve to be on the show. And I would suggest at this point in time, the biggest match on that card is potentially the women's match.
Yeah.
Very, very closely followed by The Fiend and his title opportunity against Seth Rollins for the Universal title. The 3rd confirmed match, however, on the card is seemingly the culmination of an absolute car crash of a storyline.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. I didn't actually think about that, but if I had done, that could have been worked in much better. In the fact it's Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, somewhat unlikely partners, versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of this, the plan was not to just bring those two back together.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan being together for a good while longer than they have been.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused as to how I'm supposed to feel about Daniel Bryan at the moment.
So I've got a theory on this.
Go on then.
So, could it be that... So initially it was that it seemed like Daniel Bryan was the man behind the sort of like pulling the strings to get Rowan to sort of take out Reigns. But obviously that's sort of like pushed to the back a little bit. Could it be that he has been pulling the strings all this time, just from the background, and that he's basically starting his own little sort of faction? And he's decided that when he was a member of the Wyatt family before, he realised that those two were, the real sort of talent, whatever you want to class it as. And he's basically used them to get Roman into a false sense of security. And he's now going to exploit that. And then...
make it a 3-on-1 sort of situation.
Basically. And then obviously you've got the build there, it can build it towards either Survivor Series or if you can really stretch it out to WrestleMania.
Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns should be...
It should be a WrestleMania match.
A fairly reasonable standard as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose that kind of makes sense. The build for the women's match, I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. Obviously, the big thing was the return of Sasha just after SummerSlam, pulling the heel turn, ripping off the babyface pink wig and replacing it with a blue one. It's a bit of a strange one, but taking out Natalya, talking about Natalya's dead father in the meantime as well, which was a bit of a
stiff shot. Fucking hell!
It's like instant heat. So I can understand why they did it, but yeah, they've been building for weeks to this personal feud between Becky and Sasha. So I am actually looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's only the second time they've had a women's Hell in a Cell match. Sasha was in the first, but she lost. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how that plays out. And as we've briefly touched on, the debut, if you like, or I'm sure they'll wheel out first time ever for the Fiend to appear inside Hell in a Cell.
The Fiend, yes, Bray Wyatt. No.
Yeah.
Go on, Andrew, use your words.
I feel like
Dancing?
the Fiend going for a title shot doesn't fit. The Fiend to me is more like an entity. I'd seen a thing where he took out Kane, and it was like, the freaking hell's going on? I mean, the fact that Kane was back being Kane for a start, I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then he just appears. I like how he just appears in the ring and stuff like that. But, and obviously, it's wrestling and it's about titles and things like that. But there's an aspect of, it feels weird. It was better when he was over there. Like, very much over there when they're all watching him on the big screen. Like at live events and he's on the big screen. Not necessarily, doesn't even necessarily have to be in the building, doesn't have to be anywhere near it. He's doing something completely separate. And then obviously the Fiend's been revealed and put into matches and all this. But then put him in doing a title shot. It's like, I kind of preferred the separation.
I've got two trains of thought on this.
However,
Hey!
as far as Hell in a Cell is concerned, yeah,
Sign you up?
yeah, the Fiend. I mean, I want him like hanging from the top of the cell and stuff like that.
If at some point he is not on top of that cell doing the whole like backwards bridge thing,
The crab
pulling the
thing.
scary face,
Yeah.
they'll have missed an opportunity if that doesn't happen. I'm expecting a reasonable match,
Yeah.
but probably more theatrics it'd be interesting if they can adapt it to his character.
Do you reckon they'd go for a similar thing to what they did with the match he had with Randy Orton at WrestleMania a couple of years ago, where they started showing like video imprinting onto the ring? Stuff like that?
I hope not, because that had a very, very bad reception. It was really weird. Clunky, and it was a bit.
It didn't look good.
The interruptions almost from what they did with that, it made the whole match disjointed.
Yeah.
Because it was like, right, we're going to wrestle for a few minutes. Right, stop for a minute while we show this video on the ring canvas, and then we'll start wrestling again for a few minutes, and we're going to show another video. And it was a bit. I didn't think he could understand what they tried to do, but I don't think it fit as well as they thought it probably would.
No.
But yeah, my two trains of thought with this one is that what they should do and what might happen. What they should do is just put Bray Wyatt as the Fiend over massively. He needs to absolutely annihilate Rollins for me.
Yeah.
And just put the title on him. Because, as you said, that they've done this and they've put him into it and it feels a bit almost awkward. But, flip that the other way, if they have him lose, then what? All this time they've spent building up to the mystique of this character, and if he loses...
He's not going to lose.
He's...
But...
They've got
I honestly can't see them putting the title on him.
Well,
it's very difficult to have a no contest Hell in a Cell.
It feels like...
last year, they can't do it 2 years running either.
It feels like they need to give him the win, but like have him burn the title or something. Like this isn't why I'm here, this isn't why I'm doing this is about something much bigger.
That would be interesting if they did that, but I can't see them doing that because it would seem odd that they'd have any wrestler, sports entertainer, I can't think of the word, sully the title that way.
The title.
That's the word I was looking for.
But the thing is that they can kind of play both sides of that, aren't they? Because they've always got the Firefly Funhouse. So the Fiend wins it on Sunday, but obviously we all know that obviously it's the two sides of the coin kind of thing. So then you've got the next episode of Firefly Funhouse. You've got Bray Wyatt, and obviously all the characters are in there with the title. So it kind of fits in like that.
Yeah, that's true.
My only out, if you like, with that, to see Bray Wyatt finish that match without winning the title, is that there's some sort of shenanigan involving Finn Balor.
Ooh, he's not been seen for a while.
Nope.
But he's officially on SmackDown, isn't he?
Yes, but the draft is coming up as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Does that start tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Friday.
Might be the week after.
Let's face it, I think we all suspected that they were going to build to WrestleMania, The Fiend versus the Demon.
That's what it should be.
Yep.
So that's what we all sensed that, but there was a massive time difference. They were never going to be able to get that going and keep it going for that amount of time.
I don't know. They've had longer builds than this to a WrestleMania.
The Demon, to my knowledge, has been a little MIA.
Not just the Demon. Finn Balor's not been seen for
that
personal
to me,
time off, hasn't he, as well?
He got married, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Feels very
coincidental.
Yeah.
It has worked out nicely, for, like, if that's what they choose to do.
I think if you just look at like the pieces, for me it just doesn't fit. Like this, the title aspect doesn't fit the character and the persona that they've built.
That's always been the feeling for Bray, for me though. In whatever guise he's been in, he's never been someone. I know he held the title at one point, but he's never come across as a guy that's in it for the championship, if that makes sense. And he's there to just fuck people out.
Like I said,
yeah.
This is a character that doesn't. What difference does it make to that character to have that title? That's not what that character's about.
Obviously a very different gimmick, but almost like a modern day Jake Roberts, where you want to see what kind of terrible shit he's getting up to, but ultimately it doesn't really matter if he wins a title or not because people are still invested in it.
Yeah.
Well, those are the 3 matches that we've got. I suppose we better make some predictions.
Did you even go through who won last time?
We'll get to this.
Oh, for
I was going to mention it, but I was like, I presume we're coming to something.
just because he's been sat with the title over his shoulder.
Maybe he's just dragging that out because somebody else has won.
He's getting his.
Just don't want to let it go.
He's getting his last licks in with Goldie.
Well, shall we start with the tag match scene? That's probably the least favourite one. Matt, who have you got to win the Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Rowan Harper match?
I'm going to go with Rowan and Harper with some kind of schmozy turn from Daniel Bryan, I would have thought.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Go on. Paul's just had an epiphany.
Something just popped in my head. How many times have we heard, Roman should be a bad guy, Roman should be a bad guy?
Not a chance.
Not a chance, but how awesome would it be if they completely flip it 3... It wouldn't be 360 because that'd just be basically back the same way. If they completely 180 it, and it's a case of Roman's been not making it all up because you've seen it, but he's been the instigator behind it to get Daniel Bryan on his side and then totally fuck him over. Because then you get the total double turn, and people want to like Daniel Bryan and people want to hate Roman Reigns, and then you've got 2 ready-made people there. And Roman just starts cutting about with them too. It's never going to happen, but I think I'd like to see that because I think that'd be good.
I'll tell you why that's not happening, especially not right now. On the basis that...
Fox is $4 billion.
No, Roman Reigns is currently the face of the Connor's Cure Children's Paediatric Cancer campaign that they've got going on.
Is that because of that cancer stuff that he had?
There is absolutely no way that's happening this month.
Obviously, right, okay, yeah, fair enough.
So, who are you going with?
Rowan and Harper.
Rowan and Harper?
Sorry. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
There we go.
To give them their full names, because, they keep flitting between the 2.
Andy?
I mean, I'm torn. I want to go with what makes sense, but then I want to book the trend and then go the other way.
Just to throw this in, just in case it makes a difference. If you do pick Reigns and Bryan, you'll be the only person in the room picking it.
Do it.
Oh, he's going again.
Because it's either 3 points or it's no points in it. But then it'll leave you 3 to fight between yourselves.
What we're going to do for the other predictions, are we going to give those in secret and then the podcast listeners will just have to tune in?
Well...
Find out what's happened and what we picked.
We could do that. It'd be a bit of a weird one because it's kind of like predicting what's about to happen, but then by that time will already have happened. So we'll see. You can just base it on the 3 if you want, and that's it.
In that case,
could you put it in the blurby bit on the YouTube page, or put it up on Twitter, or
yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, moving on then.
Just a hat rack.
Boom.
The what?
Not just a hat rack.
Thinking down for dancing.
Becky and Sasha. Who you got?
Basher, if you will.
I think that's exactly what she will do to Becky.
Ooh!
I'm going Sasha Banks.
Interesting. She's had that title for a long time.
Some might even
in the
say
same
since
way that
WrestleMania.
Kofi's had that title for a long time.
Also,
What happened after Friday, though, will he?
Well, he absolutely will, but never mind.
He will not.
He absolutely will.
He will not.
He will. You're all going to look foolish here. When Dominic turns up and he just basically gets in there and just rips off his shirt to reveal huge tattoos.
I think this is the exact point in time that Paul's supposed to say
there is absolutely no chance. Right. Sasha versus
the man.
Becky. Last match was a DQ count-out.
It wasn't it?
No contest? DQ.
Becky got disqualified, didn't she?
Think so.
On that note,
Again,
little
you
shout out
can't
to Clash of Champions and actually just how terrible that pay-per-view was.
can't really have no finish in Hell in a Cell. It's a bit difficult to do that. Yeah, stick me down for Sasha, but I get the feeling like Bailey will have something to do with it.
Okay. Andy?
It's the man for me.
He's going against the train here. He just wants to book the train.
Becky is the man for you.
Oh,
Yes.
exquisite.
And Matt, to round it out.
Sasha.
Ooh.
Sasha Banks for me.
So basically, us
Paul
three.
took all my thinking time and reasoning time.
Oh, that belt is so mad.
Just giving it the Aaron Rodgers.
After earlier conversations, we already know that I have already shot my...
Fiendy fiend.
Yeah, I'm going for Bray Wyatt for the Universal title match. Anybody disagree? There is a hand gone up in the room, ladies and gentlemen.
Honestly, come on. Don't be that guy.
I keep saying it all the time.
Hot potato?
Don't like it. He's only just won it back. And as we've discussed, the Fiend, he doesn't have the ring of the champion to me.
No.
I will give you the fact that everything points towards the Fiend winning. So it's a complete WWE thing for him to go.
It's basically
"Not
just,
right now."
just go balls to you.
Nah. It
Hi, Braun Strowman.
it would be a really silly thing for them to do at this point when the Fiend's just sort of getting
Bubbling away nice.
They've built
Bit of the belly.
They're not going to have him losing. Almost.
I looked it up. I've just looked up because I kind of thought if you compare, not exactly like the Undertaker, but that's kind of, you know, if they play it right, that's what he could be next. And the Undertaker has only had the WWE title 4 times and only been the World Heavyweight title holder 3 times, which is not
Crazy.
a massive amount, really, considering, you know, Cena has been there half the amount of time and has had it 16 times.
Yeah.
And obviously different division, but just if you're looking at titles in a short space of time, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Fiend wins the match, but there has to be something around the title. Like he's going to just discard the title. He's going to look at it like he doesn't know what it is or what it's supposed to be, and he's just going to discard it, which will lead into...
Or he takes something else as the title.
Yeah,
or something
like he takes like a memento of some kind. He doesn't take the
except-
title, which then leads to the next show after. There'll be a dispute over who actually has the title.
It'd be awesome if he comes out
That'd
with
be cool.
It'd be awesome if he comes out like to sort of like really, really sort of like start with the head games as that. If he comes out with a torch that's Seth's head this time.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. So we've got 2 of us picking the Fiend. Paul's obviously gone for Rollins. Over to you, Matt.
The Fiend for me.
You're all fucking stupid bastards.
Well,
Well,
there is the potential for me and Matt to draw at this point. Everybody else has got at least one different. So, speaking of points that could be accrued from predictions.
here it comes.
Well, no, it's something to discuss between us.
Is it?
So,
Is it?
generally,
Oh God.
in a championship contest within the realms of the sports entertainment world, if there was a draw,
Here we go.
what
How-
happens?
Well, in the realms of the
This is the
wrestling,
fourth Hell in the Cell match.
Well, if it's like England in the Cricket World Cup, you draw.
Oh
then
my
you
God.
Draw again, and then you know who hit the most fours, or you know
So I think for me,
how many girls have you kissed in your lifetime?
Well, that escalated quickly.
oh God, that's amazing.
Can't count your granny. Don't count.
Oh what? That like seriously cuts my number.
Well, to the point of
I would say it screams we need to have a chop off.
You're not
Live
chopping
on
anything
air.
off.
I think it's Holder's, you know, and it's going to fucking backfire now. Holder has the kind of...
Yeah, champion's advantage, I think, is what you're
Yeah.
referring to.
There is...
Unless the champion's not involved in the tie.
Oh my god, could we have co-champions?
Well,
One holds one end and one holds the other.
the scores were from a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points were up for grabs. Somebody was on 4.
Oh god, that's probably me.
This guy.
That person is Mr. Cook.
Of course. Unfortunately, everybody got less than that, so I win.
So, with 5 points, only one in front was Mr. Moore.
I don't think I've done well.
And then tied for first
Oh no.
with 7 from a possible 11. Mr. Williams and your current reigning, defending pay-per-view predictions
Do we
champion.
need to go down the...
Me.
You can't see the forest for the tees tiebreaker. Do you want me to get the...
You get the attendance for Madison Square Garden.
Can you genuinely remember which arena it was at? As in Clash of Champions?
Was this the one that was in Cleveland?
Oh, can I win it?
No.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I know roughly anyway. At least I know where it is, and Paul's wrong.
America.
I was gonna suggest because I'm rubbish at these things. If you want to do it as a tie break, why not do it on the attendance of the event?
Ooh.
But that would mean very quickly finding that, and as Matt is on my phone, somebody else is going to have to look it up.
I can find... If that's the way you want to settle it, I can find that out.
Don't get me wrong, I'm quite happy to keep hold of this shiny on a draw, but
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be?
I think
you write your answer down.
I think it's only fair that we have like
A
a definitive answer.
result.
Clash of Champions.
2019.
So we're looking at the attendance of the event, not the capacity of the venue. Yeah?
Yes. Have you better not be Googling something, you better be writing this down as a number. Right, okay, I'll let him off. I have written an answer down, I have scrubbed the answer out, and I have changed it to another answer.
Well, in a James Panas way,
like
that might...
I don't like it.
I wonder if that'll tell me.
I've changed my mind as well.
Because if I'm honest,
Oh no.
I'm struggling.
Matt, have you...
Why do you put in WWE Hell in a Cell 2019 and go backwards?
I'm trying to have fun.
Obviously, I was well prepared for this point, ladies and gentlemen. I was fully expecting Paul to say, no, you keep it, but...
Chow, please!
Yeah, I mean that's not telling me. I mean, I can get the result. I can get the views.
Seriously, go to Hell in a Cell for this year on Wikipedia and go back.
Unannounced, that they kept it secret.
Is that what it says?
That can't be true.
Ah, it's because they know they want me to keep the title. That's what it is.
Little bastards.
Well, I now know where it was held.
Yep.
Which Matthew knows already.
So are you going to go on the capacity of that venue?
So
then?
it was the Staples Centre.
Oh.
That's not what I had.
That's not the Spectrum.
No, the
Spectrum
Spectrum Centre. I
Centre,
completely read it wrong. How about we just find out what the capacity is?
Okay.
And
Okay.
work on the principle it was sold out.
Alright.
Well, bear in mind they have to curtain off an end
Yeah, but
usually.
we're not going to... We don't... I mean, I certainly don't know the capacity off the top of my head.
I absolutely do not.
They have. Here you go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different capacities, but we'll go with the pro wrestling maximum.
Alright, oh, Matt's on it. Right, okay. So, as champion's advantage, I'm going second.
Okay. Oh, you're going to enter the ring second.
Correct.
So therefore, I will venture the guess of 14,482.
Ooh. So what was that? 14,000 what?
14,482.
I have gone with 12,872.
Andy doesn't like it, which normally means that I've got it right, or I'm closer.
Gents, what have we got?
I don't know if your number's the same as mine, Matthew, but mine's got a 2 at the beginning.
Oh dear.
Yep. It's got
Jesus
another
Christ.
2 in it.
Yeah, as so the pro wrestling capacity of the Spectrum Centre Arena, 20,200
I'm calling a massive bullshit on that one.
Well,
is the number I've got.
as per the rules of the contest,
Oh my god.
in his first defence,
This is absolutely
He's only gone and...
I mean, it's tragic. You're like 6,000 away.
yeah, pretty much.
yeah, that was pretty bad. Well, there we go, sir. It's all yours.
Just, is this the bit where I just like look at that and just like get a bit teary-eyed? And
The
stuff like that?
boyhood dream has come true.
And then just, as you said,
See, satisfying.
make that sound and then just...
Matt, I strongly suggest you don't watch the YouTube replay of this podcast. It's quite sickening.
That belt's going to be ruined by tomorrow morning.
just to clarify, we're all familiar with the page.
Oh, whoa! That this has taken a turn. Plus, as well, that's not entirely wiped clean, so you know.
Oh,
Please laminate it before.
ew.
Well, unless anybody's got anything else, that ties up all 3 of the predictions. And what's been quite an eventful few weeks. Anyone got anything else?
No, I've got nothing else.
Nothing from me, other than to say, good defence, man. Good defence.
I was waiting for I knew. Anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Let us know what you think for the predictions yourself. See if you can beat Paul. Because, let's be fair, all 3 of us now want to beat
I was going to say, in the street, if you do see it.
So very mean.
So we're going to do predictions for Crown Jewel. So.
What's that? You're gonna kick Paul in the where? Sorry.
It's just become the 24/7.
The 24/7 48/11 European TV Championship.
Yeah. Mind that first step.
Right, thanks everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See yours too next time.
Don't get that stuck on your ego, will you?
I'll try not to.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Another one in the bag. Another wrestling podcast done. Another pay-per-view gone. And another one to come. Check out what happens in the results and see who gets the title next. YouTube watchers, make sure you're YouTube subscribers. Everybody jump over to thecookiecast.com. Check us out over there. Send us some love. So there we go. Check out the wrestling this weekend. And until next time, I'm going to say bye and I'll see you then. Bye.